Hello, welcome back to another video. This is a very rare sit down video for me. I've been doing a lot more vlogs recently and I think I've forgotten how to just do a sit down video where I chat through some things. But hi, welcome to this video. This is going to be a little bit of a guide of what to expect, just an overview of YALC, which is the Young Adult Literature Convention. This happens every year in London in the summer. We haven't had YALC since 2019 because of lockdown and COVID, so this is going to be the first one in 3 years and I am so buzzing for it. So I wanted to just go through a couple of my tips and tricks, a couple of things to expect and a couple of just observations from previous years that will hopefully help you feel more prepared. A quick disclaimer, this video is in no way affiliated with YALC. I'm just doing this off my own back because I know that a lot of people have a lot of questions, a lot of people will be attending for the first time this year and I just wanted to be able to do something to help. Also, secondly, this is obviously all based on my experience going to previous years at YALC and is not necessarily the way things will be run this year. I don't know if there will be a massive amount of change about the organisation and the structure of the event, but this is going to be mainly based on what the event was like in 2019 and how things operated there. So obviously things may change, they may change the way they're doing things, but hopefully this gives you a kind of base of what to vaguely expect, even if it does change a little bit. Also, if there's anything I don't cover in this video that you would like to know, on the 28th of June at 7 PM, I'm going to be hosting a YALC Q&A live, which will feature myself, Jade from JD Reads and Lauren from Fiction Tea. We've all been to YALC before and we will be there to answer your questions live for a few hours. Okay, I'm going to kind of cover this off in 5 different topics with different subtopics underneath them. So first off, we have what is YALC, then the different things available, then the author signings, the stalls, the bookstores that are there, and also just general housekeeping as well as point number 5. So I'm going to dive right in with what is YALC. So as I've said, YALC stands for Young Adult Literature Convention. This happens every summer in England and is hosted in the Olympia Centre, which is a huge exhibition centre that also hosts Comic-Con at the same time. So the first 2 floors are filled with Comic-Con and then we have the top floor as well as the green room, which is where all the celebrities that are doing the signings and the photos in Comic-Con are basically situated when they're not on the Comic-Con floor. So quite often you will see random celebrities walk through the YALC floor to get to their signings, which is always a bit of a strange experience when you're just stood trying to get your book signed and then suddenly Jason Momoa walks past you, for example, who is a frequent visitor of YALC in the past. So you've kind of got this Comic-Con atmosphere merged with YALC. YALC is very much separate because it has got that top floor, but you do slightly get that integration with the green room being on that floor as well. Obviously this might have changed, the green room might no longer be on the top floor with YALC, but that's how it's been in previous years. And with your YALC ticket you do also get access to Comic-Con, so if there's any celebrities you want to go meet, if there's any stalls you want to go to, if you want to get any photos taken, you can go downstairs very easily. You have a wristband for the whole weekend and you can just go about which floor you want to go to. However, everyone in Comic-Con does not necessarily get access to YALC. You have to have a special ticket for YALC that encompasses the whole of Comic-Con as well. So this year the event is taking place on the 8th, 9th and 10th of July, so it's a Friday to Sunday event. You can come for the whole weekend or you can just come for 1 day or you can come for 2 days, however you want to do it. I'm going to be attending all 3 days. I'm coming down on the Thursday night, staying overnight to be prepped and ready for the Friday morning, and then I will be leaving again on Sunday night. There are quite a lot of hotels that you can get there around the area or Airbnbs. My first year I actually stayed with my dad who lived about 30 minutes out of London, so I went to stay with him and then drove in or got the train in each day. My second year I stayed in a hotel with my friend. My third year I stayed in a hotel on my own. This year I'm going to be staying in a hotel with friends as well, and I'm driving us up there. We're parking in Westfield Shopping Centre, which is pretty reasonable parking for all day in London, so we're just going to leave my car there. And the perk of doing that is we don't have to worry about how many books we bring with us or bring back because we have the car. We don't have to worry about the weight of our suitcases or trying to drag it all onto a train. So hopefully that works in our favour and doesn't just mean we're just going to buy all the books ever. But I mean, that's what YALC's for. It's a lot of book buying and a lot of art giveaways and things. So yes, that is a kind of overview as to how the event is set up in terms of where it's located, at the Olympia, the dates, and also just the general access for the weekend. So me telling you that this stands for Young Adult Literature Convention doesn't really give you much information about the event itself, but basically This is a huge event for book lovers. If you are any kind of book lover, you will enjoy this event. There are so many different people to meet. You get to meet friends, again, that you didn't see since last YALC. You get to meet friends that maybe you've only ever spoken to online and now you get to meet them in person. You can chat with your favourite authors, you can get your books signed, you can visit publisher stalls. There are so many different things that I will go into more detail in. Basically, it's one massive room of book lovers. It's so much fun. It is called the Young Adult Literature Convention, but I feel like that kind of just gives it an overall theme, but you don't have to exclusively read YA to enjoy it, or read much YA at all to enjoy it, because I think, for me anyway, YALC is really about the atmosphere, and it has such a brilliant atmosphere that completely makes it, and it's just so much fun to be there. So yeah, that's a little overview as to what YALC is. Now there's multiple different things happening at YALC, so I'm going to now go over in this section the different things that are available at this event. Some of these may have changed, and particularly the structures of some of them may have changed, but I will go into the details that I know about how the structures have worked in the past in the next section. So in terms of the different things that we have going on at YALC, we have author signings, we have panel events, we have agent talks, we also have publisher stands, and then seller stands. So these range from big stands such as WATERSTONES usually have quite a large bookshop section, so if there's an author signing you don't currently own their book, you could go buy it. Similarly, you might find that at the end of the day, after that author has done a signing, there might be some signed copies available in the shop. There's also smaller indie book merch stalls as well, so in the past there have been candle shops, there have been book boxes there, lots of different things like that. So it's not just publishers, there are lots of different things for sale. So something that I hope comes back, and comes back better, is the chill out zone. So this is something that was there every year I've been, however it's not exactly been the most well thought out space, I would say. It's basically a corner of the massive room that YALC is hosted in for a chill out zone. So the idea being, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, if you just want to sit down for a minute, if you just want a bit of space to yourself, or you just want to get away from the crowd, or you literally just kind of need to recoup what you bought, rearrange your tote bags, if you've got a suitcase with you, just sort everything out, you can just go to the quiet zone, the chill zone. I can't remember what the wording for it actually is, but you can go to that area and chill. However, in previous years it's not really felt like it's an actual space for you to be able to sit and do this. For me, I've got scoliosis, my back hurts me really easily when I'm on my feet a lot and I'm carrying lots of heavy things. I just want to sit somewhere with back support, and this is what I wanted from that area, and it didn't have much in the way of that, if I remember rightly. I think there might be a couple of areas to sit, but generally you're kind of sat on the floor, and if you're lucky you've got a wall behind you, and if you're not, you're just in the middle of the floor. So it wasn't the best space, however it's better than not having a space at all. So there is that option to detach from the crowds if you want to, but at the same time I don't know what it's going to look like this year. I really hope they've improved it a little bit, because I think it's something people have been asking for quite a long time, just to make the experience a little bit easier. But yes, there is, or has been, a chill out zone. If memory serves me correctly, there is also a little cafe area on the out floor, so if you want to refill your water bottle, just get some nibbles, there is an area for that. There's also quite a few different shopping supermarket type of things around the Olympia, so you can just nip to Tesco's, for example, if you just wanted to grab some food to bring with you for the day. Okay, on to more detail of what you can expect at the event itself. So talking now about the author signings. In 2019 there was a ticketed queuing system to meet the authors, and I hope they do this year again, because I thought this was the best way to be able to allow people to enjoy their day and not be queuing all day, but at the same time be able to reserve that slot to meet the author that they really want to meet and get their book signed. So the way this worked is we were given raffle tickets. If you got there earlier in the day, obviously you got the lower number of raffle tickets, so you were more likely to meet the author at the start of their signing than at the end. Obviously if it's a really busy author, then there is going to be quite a lot of raffle tickets and wait times to give out, and obviously there will be a cap on that as well. So the later you get your raffle ticket and the later you arrive at YALC, the less likely you are to meet that author if they are a really high in demand author. I don't know how that's going to differ from author to author. This year they might be potentially having longer slots, for example, if the author is, they expect, going to be more popular. In past, authors have stayed for longer to sign books if they know that they have people left to meet and there's only like 20 people left in the queue, for example, but I don't know how they're going to run it this year. But I think that the ticketed queue system worked well last time. It meant that you weren't stood in a queue for half a day and missing the other experiences. So that's how the queuing system worked in 2019 to meet the authors, and as I say, hopefully they continue that. In terms of how many books you can get signed and things, I honestly I don't know what this number is going to be. I put up a Q&A box on Instagram to ask you what you would like to know, and this is a question I got quite a lot of: how many books can you bring for each author to sign, and are there limits? So from previous years, this has very much depended on the author. For example, some authors may physically sign one and then they may put a stamp in another book, so you might be able to bring 2 books up but only one gets physically signed. You might find that some authors will only personalise one and the rest are just normal signatures, or some authors might literally sign every book you have ever owned by them. It very much depends on who the author is and how busy they're going to be. If it's a lesser known author, then they're more likely to sign more books. Whereas if you have an author that has literally had all their raffle tickets given out and have a lot of people coming to meet them throughout the day, I think you're less likely to be able to get a large amount of books signed by them. But honestly, it does depend on the author. They will let you know when you're queuing how many books you can get signed. I hope this is something they put up on their social media as well, because obviously people are planning which books to bring with them. I'll check and see if that's something they have already announced, and I will let you know if they have said how many books you can bring for each author. I got a couple of questions on wait times and length of queues. So obviously the length of queues, if they are doing the ticketed system, is a lot less daunting. Usually you'll find that they will call about 1 to 20 to 30 at a time, and it does move fairly quickly, so normally you're okay in terms of not feeling like you're waiting for too long. I would say maybe you're waiting for about 30 minutes to 40 minutes max if you're at the end of that queue. Again, it's been quite a few years since I've been now, so I can't remember exact times of wait times, but it really depends on how busy that queue is. And yeah, queue length, because they're monitoring how many people are going to be called at each time, are never going to be too significant, because the thing is, there's so many things happening at this venue as well that it's even more difficult to navigate when you have a massive queue going randomly down the middle of the room. So I think that's another reason why they do the ticketed system as well. Right, onto the bookstalls, where you will be able to buy books, and hopefully there will be ARC giveaways as well. So I would say there is a pretty decent amount of bookstores from all the different publishers, and as I said, there's often a Waterstone stall as well, so you can buy books there. And then there's multiple stalls that are from indie sellers, they're book boxes, things like that. It's obviously different each year in terms of which indie sellers, which book boxes are going to be there. The publishers are usually pretty consistent and usually have a pretty decent array of stock with them as well. So the things you can expect is publisher tables will be selling books, but will also most likely be running ARC giveaways. So these will be usually announced on social media as to how you enter. There are so many different ways that publishers run this. In previous years, for example, there were rubber bats hidden around YALC, and if you found a rubber bat, then you would get a copy of an ARC. There have been photo challenges, so you have to arrange a photo spread, post it on your Instagram, tag the publishers, and then they will let you know if you've won a copy of an ARC. Sometimes it might just be a lucky dip with a raffle number. There's so many different ways that the publishers come up with. It's often really good fun. The first time I went, there was a lot of racing about. So you were told that if you wanted this ARC, you had to get to X publishers within 30 seconds. They have stopped doing that now because it made it really inaccessible for quite a lot of people to be able to get those ARCs. So I hope that they continue to not do it like that now, because it just felt very manic, obviously wasn't accessible for enough people to be able to go to those stores in that amount of time. So hopefully that continues to be something they don't do. I would be very surprised if they went back on that, because there were several reasons it didn't work. So generally, yes, there will be ARC giveaways. Social media, Twitter is your best friend. Turn your notifications on, even if it's just for this weekend. Set the publishers to have notifications on your phone. You will get all the updates. Also, generally, if you see people converging around one particular publisher stall, that's probably an indication that something is going to be happening on that stall, so definitely check that out as well. I would suggest not only having your card with you, but also bringing a little bit of cash just in case. I think most publishers have said they will be accepting cards and have contact lists, but it's always worth having a little bit of cash just in case. Okay, and my final overriding topic is housekeeping. So this is going to just be going through a couple of the other questions that I got just about the event itself that I haven't already talked about in these other points. Okay, a couple of people have asked about opening times and what time should they get to the venue. So if you go onto the London Film and Comic Con website, you can find the YALC schedule. I will leave a link to this down below, but basically you're not going to be able to see that from here, but it gives you quite a detailed look at what time the panels are, what time workshops are, what time the agents arena is open, and when the authors are signing, which days and which times. I realise I haven't spoken about workshops, I forgot to include that in. So there's panels are talks that are being hosted usually by multiple different authors about various different topics, and then workshops go into more detail about like how to do specific things and have Q&As. So in previous years there've been crafting workshops, there have been creator workshops. They're quite good fun. There's even an escape room, I think, this year. Yeah, on Sunday there's a YALC deception escape room. So the workshops are quite good fun. There's tarot card readings, for example, writing about social media, how to write thrillers, lots of different things, whereas some of the panel events are things like Video Killed the Radio Star, Our Time Is Now, the big YALC quiz of the year, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, Cassandra Clare in Conversation, different things like that that are happening throughout the weekend. My battery died, I've been filming for quite a while. Okay, yes, so I was going through panels and workshops and things. Basically the schedule will give you all the information, but it does also state the start times of each day. So on Friday the first panel is at 11, whereas on Saturday and Sunday the first panels are at 10. So I think this information will all be released properly on social media and things, and please don't quote me with timings because I don't know exactly what's going on and when.
Hello, this is ASMR voiceover Beth, come to help simplify the rather lengthy Facebook post posted by London Film and Comic Con. Hi. So London Film and Comic Con posted up a map, they posted a lot of info, they posted some gate details, and they posted some times. I've tried to consolidate that information into this, so I hope this is somewhat helpful. I would take these times with a pinch of salt unless you are specifically wanting to get there very early for one specific reason, like if you had a photo booked in the Comic Con floor at a specific time. These aren't like the times you need to absolutely be there. These are just when the gates open. I can't remember getting there much before 8:30 in the past. Like, you've got a ticket, you're getting in, it will be fine. I hope this is helpful, but yeah, this is my attempt at consolidating the info, and I hope it helps.
This is the kind of thing where, because the event's not been on for a few years, I've forgotten the exact timings. However, whatever time it is released that the doors open, I would say you kind of have one of two options. Either you get in the queue before the doors open by about 30 minutes and you're queuing and you know you're one of the first people in. This option is probably for you if you know that there's an author you are dying to meet on that day and you really want to get that early raffle ticket, queue ticket to be able to meet them sooner rather than later and guarantee your slot in meeting them and getting your book signed. So if that's the kind of way you're wanting to approach the event, then I would say try and get there half an hour to 40 minutes before the actual doors open. However, if you're not specifically bothered about getting a book signed on that day, I would say get there either for when doors open or like half an hour to 40 minutes the other side of that, because the queues get quite long. You are queuing with the people that are going into Comic-Con as well as the people that are going into YALC. Once you get through the doors, you are popped through security, so if you have a bag, they just want to look through your bag. You can then go up the stairs or up the lift to get to the floor that YALC is on. You don't have to go through Comic-Con to get to YALC. It's kind of good fun in the queue as well because you get to see all the people that are cosplaying and the different things like that. The queues definitely can get quite long, however once they get going and once the doors are open, they're fairly fast moving to be able to get in. So yeah, your arrival time very much depends on the kind of YALC day you're planning to have, but I would check on YALC's social media or on their website. There is a lot of different FAQ things on the website. I could go into more detail in this video and talk about all the different food venues and different things like that, but there is all of those kind of questions answered on the website, so I will leave links down below to all of that so you can just check it all out, including links below to the schedule so you can see all of the panels and things that are taking part over the weekend as well. Another question is, how busy does it get? So I've talked about how busy the queues can get and the idea that there's a chill out zone, but the event itself in terms of busyness, obviously this is always going to be changing. I feel like because this event has been cancelled for the last 2 years, everyone is going to be very excited to go, therefore this year is probably going to be a busier year. Also, we've obviously had the rise of TikTok. There are more people being brought into the book community online, more people will be finding out about YALC. I just feel like it's going to be busier. Now, it's never busy to a point where you can't move. The Comic-Con floor is way, way busier and very much more tightly packed than the YALC floor. There are a lot of spaces on the YALC floor to be able to have a minute to yourself. I mentioned the chill out zone, obviously that definitely needs work, but that is still a space that is separate from the bigger queues and groups of people, so you do have that option. But just generally throughout the YALC floor as well, there are just different spots where you can sit and hopefully have a moment if you are feeling like it's a little bit too busy. So I would say be prepared for busyness, be prepared for crowds. However, hopefully it is more spaced out on the YALC floor. It has been in the past. It definitely doesn't feel like everything's crammed together on the YALC floor like it does on the Comic-Con floor. Obviously, depending on the stalls you're going around, if they have certain giveaways happening, for example, there might be certain clumps of busyness, but generally YALC does do the best job they can at trying to minimize this with the layout of everything, so hopefully that continues into this year as well. One final thing is more of a prepping for like the days itself in terms of what you're bringing with you. So I have gone through a different array of what I've brought with me to YALC. In my first year, I think I bought a mini suitcase with me to bring all the books in and then to bring books back with me that I bought. The year after that, my friend did the same thing and I was able to share her suitcase. And then the year after that, I think I just had a rucksack with me. This year, this might be ambitious, but I'm hoping to just bring my bum bag and one tote bag because I feel like I can be more restrained with it this year if I try. I'm saying this and that might completely fail, but I have hopes that hopefully I don't end up with like 30 new books because that's what I've done in the past. There are good deals on books as well, so you can often find that you can get the book cheaper than if you were just buying it normally in Waterstones, for example. There's often like 3 for X amount of money deals going on, especially on the Sunday. If you are there on the Sunday, the books start getting reduced near to the end of the day, so the publishers don't have to bring them all back with them to their offices. So if you're wondering what kind of bag to bring, people will be bringing suitcases, people will be bringing all manner of different types of bags. I think it's just what works best for you. For example, if I knew I had a load of books with me, I would be more inclined to have something I could drag like a suitcase than something I would keep on my back, because I know that's just going to hurt my back. So it's whatever's going to work for you. I would definitely say to make sure you are bringing some kind of drink with you, to make sure that you've just got everything you need with you for the day. If you know you're prone to headaches, make sure you've got some painkillers. You can leave the event and come back in. I think I've said already, you get a wristband, or that's how it's been in the past, and that is just your identifier for the weekend, so you don't need to constantly be showing your ticket. So you're very much free to go and get some lunch or just go and grab something from the Tesco's and then come back in again. That's absolutely fine. There is also a cloakroom, so if you, for example, were just traveling down for the day and you just wanted to store your stuff, you can do that. Or if you were checking out of your hotel on the Sunday and you needed to bring your suitcases back, you can store them in the YALC cloakroom. So if you do find that you end up with a lot of bags, you can just check them in the cloakroom, then you don't have to carry everything around with you for the whole weekend, or the whole day at least. Okay, I feel like I've potentially covered off everything I could think of, everything I've been asked. I'm sure there's probably going to be things I miss. One thing quite a few of us did a couple of years ago at YALC was had lanyards with our profile picture and our username on them just around our necks. It was a really nice way to be able to make that connection with people, because sometimes when you just see a username and a profile picture, it is difficult when you see them in real life to then be like, oh my god, that's who you are. So the lanyards were definitely very helpful there. Okay, I've gone through everything on my list, I've answered all the questions I was sent, and I've also had a couple more things in. So I hope I've been able to cover a decent array of YALC related things. I'm so hyped for this event. I'm so excited. It's my favourite event of the year. I'm very much there now for the people, I would say, than like the actual side of the event. I just love being able to see all my friends that I haven't been able to see. Some of them since last YALC, some of them it'll be the first time me meeting them face to face, and some of them I've seen a couple of months ago or like in the last year or so, and it would just be really nice to be able to see them at YALC. The YALC venue is also pretty close to the Westfields Shepherd's Bush, which has loads of different places you can eat, so quite often people go there in the evenings, be able to have a couple of drinks, be able to get some good food. There's loads of different options around. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. If you're going to be going, do drop a comment down below and let me know. I will be doing the live show next week with Jade and with Lauren on the 28th. That's going to be hosted on my channel, so I will again leave a link down below to that one so you can set a little reminder. That's going to be happening at 7 PM, and we'll just be going through any questions you have, just getting everyone prepped, getting everyone hyped. I'm so excited, cannot wait. I will also be creating a channel within my Discord for my patrons for any YALC chats. So if you do want to join in that, that will be available to anyone in the Rivendell tier onwards, and we'll just be chatting about the event, chatting throughout the weekend, and just answering any questions and having a nice little community feel and a nice little bit of hype being generated. My final point to add in is, if you are going to be attending YALC on your own and you're a little bit worried about that, please, please, please know that there are so many lovely, lovely human beings attending YALC that will be desperate to make new friends. I have met so many of my closest friends at YALC just from standing in a queue and chatting to the person behind me. It's so strange to think that I know so many of the people in my life from attending this event. My first year I went completely alone. I knew nobody. I was very new to the online community and I felt very welcomed. I made many good friends that I then met the year after and the year after and solidified those friendships, and they're now people that I would say are my best friends, and it was just such a lovely way to be able to meet them. So if you are going alone, I know that it is easier said than done, but there are going to be people there that are also going alone, or there will be people in groups that want to bring you into their group and make new friends with you. So You'll definitely, whilst you may be attending alone, you will not feel alone if you don't want to. YALC can very much be the experience that you make it, and I hope that for all of you watching that are attending, it's a really good experience, because it's always one of my highlights of the year, so I cannot wait. I definitely feel like I've info dumped, but hopefully this has been helpful. As I said, on the 28th we will be doing live, so you can just ask us any more questions that I have not covered in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do give it a thumbs up. As I said, comment down below if you will be attending YALC this year. Subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. I will be posting a YALC vlog, so subscribe to see that as well. And if you don't want to miss it, hit the little bell icon. You can also find my Patreon link down below, where I post lots of extra content, including this special YALC chat within our Discord for anyone in the Rivendell tier onwards. And you can find a link down below to my online digital shop. Thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive, and have a great time at YALC!